Okay, good morning everyone and welcome back to school. I was due to fly back at the weekend, but I unfortunately tested positive, so need to isolate for a while before I can travel. So I'm here in the UK and it's 4 o'clock in the morning and it's raining outside, hence the slide that you can see now. Although it is going to turn to snow later, so I'm quite excited about that. And my first message is that I've been really careful this holiday. I didn't socialise, I didn't go out, and I still caught COVID. So my message to you is be really, really careful. Wear your masks, particularly at school. Social distance, limit your socialising and mixing with groups of people, and follow all COVID protocols because it's really important that we protect ourselves and others by being careful. So next slide, Mr. Johan. Today's assembly may seem rather gloomy for the first one of 2022 because it's about what we call January blues. But I have got some good ideas and messages later on. Next slide, please, Mr. Johan. Now, at many counters, when you go and pay, for instance, if you go to Decathlon or many shops, you're asked this question, how was your experience and how do you feel? And I wanted to ask you, I wonder which button you would press today. How are you feeling today? How is your mood? How happy or content are you? Do you feel down, disappointed or fed up? Which face would you press now? Well, I don't know about you, but if I was a grade 10 sitting an exam, it would definitely be the red one. Coming back to school, maybe the amber one. Looking forward to juice break, definitely the green one. So I'm sure if you think of particular situations, your mood would change. But I wonder what button you've pressed, which will represent your overall mood today. Well, if you press the sad face, you would not be alone. January can feel like a very tough month for a lot of people. Many of us report feeling fed up in January, and it has been proven to be a biological condition that during winter, mainly in January, it is normal for people to feel in a low mood, fed up and disillusioned. In fact, Monday, January the 17th, 2022 is called Blue Monday. And it's called because apparently around the world, it is judged as being the most depressing and saddest day of the year. So watch out. The term January blues is used to express this idea. And I often ask myself, why is this? Why do we feel low and down during the winter and in particular in January? Well, it's been proven that if you have less sunlight and less vitamin D, that can affect your mood. And certainly here in the UK, and I know in Bangalore, a lot of people don't like the misty mornings. And here it's wet and cold. We also have less sunlight here, so it doesn't get light until 8:15 at the moment, and it gets dark at 4:30 in the afternoon. So there's definitely less sunlight. We're all back to normal, having celebrated Christmas and New Year, which is quite often demoralising. It's exam time, quite often in January at schools, it's exam time. It often feels like a long time until the next holiday. And also, I think that we perhaps put pressure on ourselves that it's a new year and we need to look at things in a different way and we need to set New Year's resolutions, and all that could put pressure on us. Well, there's a Buddhist concept of dukkha, which means suffering, and this shares similarities with the sense of dissatisfaction that many people experience in January, that feeling of being a bit disappointed, a bit lacking, a bit empty. For Buddhists, this feeling comes about because humans have a tendency to want or crave things. We crave the summer sunshine, we desire a holiday, we want to eat tasty treats regardless of the calories. We long for money, we long for pleasantries. For Buddhists, a life that is spent craving and wanting is a life of dukkha or suffering. You might identify this with January. We may even envy people who are going away on holiday, or who have lots of money to spend, or who had lovely presents at Christmas. This feeling of envy is unpleasant, and it is also a form of suffering. To want things all the time and to want them now is unpleasant. A life that is spent wanting all the time is hard. There is little chance to experience deep contentment or satisfaction. It is not only Buddhism that has something to say about feeling unsatisfied and disappointed with life. We may try to fill our life with things that we buy, places that we visit, activities that we do, and even relationships that we forge. However, despite all this, we can still feel that ultimately our lives are empty and lacking in some way. Next slide, Mr. Johan. There is a parable or a story about a farmer who stores more and more grain so that he can make more and more money. He builds bigger and bigger barns so that he can hoard more and more grain. However, this farmer is considered a fool because he focuses so much on satisfying his greed that he neglects his mental welfare and the important people about him. He forgets what is important in life. The idea that craving things will not bring about satisfaction was explored by Blaise Pascal, the 17th century French mathematician, physicist, inventor, and philosopher. Next slide, Mr. Johan, please. In a book that was published in 1670, Pascal wrote, "What else does this craving and this helplessness proclaim that there was once in a man a true happiness, of which all that now remains is the empty print and trace. This he tries in vain to fill with everything around him, seeking in things that are not there the help that he cannot find in those that are, though none can help, since this infinite abyss can be filled only with an infinite and immutable object." The language in this quotation can be confusing, but what Pascal is indicating is that we each have a longing that cannot be filled by consuming more and more things. The philosopher is describing that he believes true satisfaction and fulfillment is found within people. It is a feeling of emptiness that cannot be filled without some faith or trust. Pascal is speaking about the deep longing for inner fulfillment in our lives. As we think about the January blues, so often linked with the feeling of dissatisfaction and wanting, let's pause to consider what we really want in life. For example, money makes life easier and means that we can buy things that we want, yet a life without love is empty. Someone who lives without any love in their life is experiencing a form of poverty. Being recognised and appreciated by others feels nice. However, if we don't believe in ourselves or love ourselves just as we are, other people's praise feels empty. Someone who lives without knowing that they are precious and good enough is experiencing a form of poverty. So what is it we really want in 2022? What is it that will help us to feel truly content and satisfied as we look forward to this new year? Well, my tips for avoiding the January blues are: realise, first of all, that it is normal and that many other people feel this way. Secondly, get out and get as much daylight as possible. Keep fit and stay active. Avoid unrealistic New Year resolutions. Eat properly, sleep well, and treasure the little wins and move your focus away from the negatives. And I'd like you to seriously think, all of you, about what do you really want in 2022, and what is it that will really make you truly content and satisfied, especially as we haven't had a normal start to this year again. So wishing you all the very best for 2022, and I hope I'll be able to travel back to India soon and see you all in person. Thank you very much.